Offensive rebound by Okogie. Booker on a deep shot, and a loose change corralled by Leonard. Here's Paul with the shot clock down to 5 seconds. He'll fire off the back of the rim, and this ragged offensive start for the Suns continues. They've missed their first 5 shots.
And last but not least, Jimmy, the sentence is, I just want to hoop. That's what KD's talking about. I just want to hoop.
One of the best, man, that just loves to play the basketball game. And talking to Monty Williams, we found out that he's just going to simplify the offense a little bit and allow KD to kind of fit in that way.
Where he fits with this group. We've been talking about him, with him, trying to get a feel for where he likes.
Well, the beautiful part is that Monty Williams already had a relationship with him based on OKC, but also USA basketball. So the mindset and understanding is there. Paul George able to knock in.
Of course, second stint went the Clippers for Gordon, and another big piece that they add, part of the supporting cast, retooling for this team, as Zubats, one of the top offensive rebounders in the league, unable to squeeze it for the Clippers. Okogie from deep. Morris against Booker. This is Leonard. Finds his spot. A little bit of a line drive delivery. There's a familiarity with this kid with the Clippers. Knows them from his pre-draft workouts. And at least initially, everyone seems to be very excited about the fit.
Understand, when you're playing behind Jamal Murray, not going to be a lot of minutes dispersed on the court. And it's frustrating for a young player that wants to prove himself.
Paul unable to get it to Booker on the box, so they reset out to Okogie. Pass inside, they turn it over. Zubats with the rip. Ahead of the field is Mann, lines it up. Shot clock at 5. CP3 to Ayton. Missed it. Leonard against Craig. 3 to shoot. Leonard.
Double dribble.
You're right. Turnover. Just a half game separating these two teams in the West. Phoenix number 4, Clippers at number 5. Leonard from 3, no, and the rebound.
So good to see the ball go in for Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, an all-NBA player last year at the age of 37. That is Batum. Certainly an under-the-radar signing, but you add that kind of scoring punch and his track record to what this club already has. That's a combustible mix as the Clippers, boy, just barely get it off with Morris. What a setup by Paul, but Ayton just couldn't finish. Leonard! Boy, the tip in by Zubats. Jimmy, everyone thinks it's easy when you add a player the caliber of Kevin Durant, but what kind of an adjustment, what kind of a fit do you expect between Durant and Booker as Kawhi misses on the baseline? How quickly can the Suns put it all together? And what they hope will be a deep run through the postseason. Leonard, beautiful drop off to Mann. And just think about the ownership situation, Jimmy, here as we get more contact against the Suns.
And I get it and understand it, so it'll be interesting to see how Matt continues to build out. So a lot of work still to be done, but both of those gentlemen understand the value of putting the right product, not only on the court, by Chris Paul, by allowing the switch to happen, and then Ayton to get in proper position to receive, catch, and finish.
Kawhi Leonard. And look at his shooting night. He's missed just 2 of his 10 shots. Leonard pushing for the Clippers. Here comes Leonard, turns the corner, going glass, and he's headed to the free throw line.
Well, I always say this, is that you have to develop some scars. You have to go through some stuff during the course of the season, figure out how to win ugly games, because that's what you're going to have to do in the playoffs. On how well everything begins to gel and figure out and rotations work for the Clippers.
Leonard tees one up, not that time from 3, and the rebound corralled by Warren. In his Phoenix Suns debut.
I tell you what, this is a move that quietly happened across the league that nobody really talked about, and Kawhi Leonard able to get to a spot.
I would think that the Milwaukee Bucks are hoping that he will not be participating in the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, you'd think. Interference from the Clippers defensively in transition.
Saban Lee, their 3rd-year kid out of Vanderbilt.
But it's not like he had forced the offense to go find his shots. He's just playing Kawhi Leonard basketball, being more aggressive to look for those opportunities to get to his spots, when to go, timing. His team was playing well. He didn't disrupt it. But now when he needs to, he can do this.
And one thing to keep in mind about Golden State, they barely had their starting group for a cup of coffee last year before the playoffs began. And we all know how the season ended. Straight such teams, Jimmy, after the break. The good news is that the Clippers have played a really front-loaded schedule this year, so they'll get a lot of practice time, which is acclimated even further.
Well, cool stat, but it also tells you, for me, all switchable assets, so to speak. Even Duke can guard in a little bit of space. Paul George.
George teeing off right through the Phoenix defense. Man advantage for the Clippers. Gordon, the trailer, tees it up. No. As we approach the final 2 minutes here in Phoenix. Leonard maintains his feet, puts it down. That was nasty. Clippers trying to run that clock. Final 60 seconds, shot clock down to 2. What a matchup between Paul and George. Leonard flicks it up and in, and he's headed to the free throw line. That is about as subdued a response as you'll ever see from Steve Ballmer. He has to be excited about the prospects of his team. They will leapfrog Phoenix in the standings and move into the 4th spot in the West.
Now we're able to see who this team can be. Tough loss for the Suns, but once KD gets into the fold, we'll be revisiting the conversation in regards to how good this Phoenix Suns team will ultimately be.